What is good, guys? Back here with another YouTube video, and in case you cannot tell by the title below, this video will be a video where I share my honest thoughts and opinions on someone or something going on in this wacky weird world called professional wrestling. As you can tell by the title below, this video will be a video where I share my thoughts and opinions on why I think that going to Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown simply are not worth it to myself personally. Would love to know what your thoughts are on attending a Raw or SmackDown, again down in the comments below. If you have attended it and you liked it, would love to know why, either again Raw or SmackDown. If you if you went, did not like it, would love to know why. And if you never attended one, would you want to? Why or why not? Again, would love to hear it down in the comments below. While you are down there, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it would mean a lot to myself if you did. And when it comes to Raw and SmackDown, I attended 2 SmackDown TV tapings and one Monday Night Raw. The 2 SmackDown ones were they were taped because this was in the day and age where SmackDown was taped. But the first one was September 15th, 2009, at Cobb's Coliseum. I don't know what it's called now, but it was in Hamilton, Ontario. The second one was Edge's Appreciation Night, September 13th, 2011. And then the Raw was September, I think, 9th. I might be misremembering that, but either way, 2013, it was the go-home episode of Raw for whatever pay-per-view was in Detroit. I think it might have been Night of Champions, that following Sunday. And for myself personally, have not attended Raw or SmackDown on TV ever since. And I had the opportunity, a bunch of them probably by now in the last decade or so, but just for X, Y, or Z reasoning, didn't do it, whether it was financial, whether it was life, or whether I wasn't watching WWE programming kind of deal and whatnot. And this video was kind of brought up, I don't remember the exact date, but within the week or so before SmackDown was going to be in Toronto in, I think it was August 18th, 2023, so not too terribly long ago. And a family member of mine asked or they somehow heard, I forget how, that SmackDown was going to be in Toronto on the 18th. And they asked if I was either going or wanting to go. And I told them no, I knew about it for about a year, and I made up my mind the year before that I was not going to it. And they were surprised because it's WWE, it's Friday Night Live one, live on TV, why are you not going? And I told them that, outside of WWE events that I attend, kind of deal, or pay-per-views, I don't really watch their TV. I would watch NXT over Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, kind of deal. NXT, to myself personally, for a long while, I could just turn off my brain and watch it if I were to watch one live, kind of deal. And they were surprised. And then I went, I think it was either the night before or the day of SmackDown, just to see what tickets were like. And they were, the only ones left were, the absolute nosebleeds, behind the 300 section, which is, again, nosebleeds, kind of deal, for $100 plus whatever fees. And for myself personally, financially, I probably could have afforded it, but it was not worth it, if that makes any sort of sense. And that's, in a way, my view on WWE, and you can throw in AEW as well. Financially, I could have hypothetically went to WWE in Toronto or the Ottawa or Montreal super shows. I think it was Montreal. Either way, the 2 super shows, the Saturday and Sunday kind of deal, I could have made it work, but it just was not worth it for myself personally. And what I mean by financially, it's not worth it, but I could make it work in the sense, like I said, nosebleeds, let's say it's 100, after everything is said and done, 120 kind of deal. Canadian. Just to, I don't know for sure if it was that much, but rounding it up to 120. For the Toronto, for SmackDown TV taping in the 300s. It just, for somebody like myself that already attended 2 SmackDowns, again, it was over a decade ago, it just wasn't worth it because I don't know for sure if I said this in a video before, but I don't watch a full episode of Raw or a full episode of SmackDown unless it's the pay-per-view, like the Raw after Mania kind of deal. I might tune in a little bit here, a little bit there for like a segment or two, like, or a match or a promo kind of deal, but I don't watch Raw or SmackDown front to back unless, like I mentioned, it's the Raw after Mania, and that's because it's the Raw after Mania and whatnot. But being there live, I don't know for sure how to feel about that. Like, if I don't mean this in a bad way, but like when I attended Monday Night Raw back in September of 2013, sitting through that 3-hour episode of Raw felt like sitting through a 6-hour rush hour in Toronto kind of deal, and that quite possibly could be the reason why I stopped going to TV events. If WWE had a house show in like Barrie, Ontario, which is the closest they would come to myself, I would definitely go, whether it's front row center like I did for NXT or cheap seats like I did back in like 2016. When I say cheap seats, like the cheapest section kind of deal. But for going to Toronto, dealing with Toronto, for myself personally, for TV tapings, it's just not worth it. If you've been to Toronto your fair share of times, like I've been in one way fortunate enough to do, whether it's wrestling or non-wrestling related, it kind of gets tiresome after a while. And if it was, let's say, if Raw had a or not Raw, I apologize, SmackDown, it was in Ottawa, pay-per-view Saturday in Ottawa kind of deal, it would be tempting, but that's more so because of the pay-per-view. And I know Montreal did the same, but it was over Family Day weekend, and the hotel prices weren't necessarily the best because of Family Day weekend. But yeah, going to Raw or SmackDown in Toronto, is not worth it for myself personally and whatnot. And that was with the heavy speculation that my all-time favorite wrestler was set to retire kind of deal, or heavily rumored to be retired after it kind of deal and whatnot. But yeah, for myself personally, as somebody that's been to, granted, 3 TV tapings over a decade, or about a decade ago now, since the last one, it's not worth it. But it's one of those things that, even though it might not be worth it for myself personally, if you either never attended one or haven't attended since like a long time, and if you can financially afford it or justify it, I would say go still, because it could be the time of your life. It's just, for myself personally, it's financially could justify it on that sense, but would it be fun? I don't know about that. But yeah, that's it for this one. Feel free to hit the like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Of course you don't have to if you don't want to, but it would mean a lot to myself if you did. More importantly, hope you guys are doing okay mentally, emotionally, and physically.
The world that we tend to make up is nothing but a fantasy until you wake up. I feel like I'm just lying to myself, yeah. Cause I just crossed the line like I'm playing offside. Do it how I want and I'ma do it till I die. Feel like I'm just lying to myself, but it's